All right, so welcome to Indigenous Insights, and my intro is going to come straight from your Facebook page here. On the show with us today, we have Anishinabe Kwe, mother, dancer, lover, artist, and singer. She is Migizii Kwe. Migizii Kwe, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm super stoked to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here. You specifically requested kind of like a conversation style, so that's the way we're going to keep it, because I've been doing questions lately, but I like a good conversation.
For sure, for sure.
So to start out, just conversation style, just tell me about yourself. Tell me who you are.
Well, I will give a formal greeting. Bonjour, Indigenous Nimwewe Begay Migizii Kwe, Ndunjaba Washtunang Nidora Badaske, Ndorum Chichag, Anishinabe Kwe Down. So my name is Eagle Woman. I was born in Grand Rapids. I live in Petoskey. I'm Crane Clan, and I'm Anishinabe Kwe. And I'm a mother, an artist, dancer, a singer, but I'm like no Whitney Houston. I try, but I love to sing still, and I love to teach.
Very cool. So first question that pops up for me then is, who taught you your language? I like that introduction.
Thank you. So my father, Anthony Davis, he's one of our traditional pipe carriers here in northern Michigan, or in Petoskey, and he taught me in ceremony. So we do a lot of sweat lodge together, and he taught me my formal greeting so I can greet, in ceremony.
It was awesome. So then let's talk a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about your upbringing and your family and such.
Cool. That's a long history. It's a long history.
We got time.
Yeah, we do. So Anthony Davis is actually not my biological father, but I call him my father because he's the man that raised me. He's a good man. He taught me with the culture. He taught me in the ceremony, and just the old school teachings, the Anishinaabe teachings, and a little bit of like Lakota teachings. Wherever he learned, he taught me what he learned, and it was through old school Indigenous Anishinaabe teachings, and a little bit from other cultures as well. And that was huge for me. My mother wasn't raised in the culture. She was actually in boarding schools as a young girl and raised Catholic. And so she never pushed any type of even our culture or any other culture onto me. And it was just very free, and it was like my choice to go wherever I wanted to go. And I feel like that's true free will, that's true willpower, is when you give an individual the opportunity to seek out what's best for them. And obviously, being Anishinaabe, I somehow found my way to a sweat lodge.
Yeah.
And the culture, and that there's a difference, I feel, between like the dancing. Like my mother took us to powwows, right? But there's a huge difference between, for me personally, the powwows and our ceremonies, like our sweat lodge ceremonies, our pipe ceremonies. There's like a huge difference. And so my mother raised us going to powwows and dancing, which was amazing, which was a good start for us as children to introduce us to who we are. So I thank her every day for that, because that was just a beautiful experience. So I guess she did influence us a little bit, but it was, it was our choice to dance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She didn't say you have to get dressed and dance. She's like, you can do that.
So is that the way that you carry your parenting when you do it? Kind of give them the choice, but present them the opportunity?
Yep. So with my son, it's truly up to him. I ask him every morning, do you want to smudge? I'm going to do it regardless. And he's just like, yeah, I think I do. And like just the other day, I meditate too. So I also go outside of the culture, and like meditation is like Buddhist, or even monk and stuff like that. And it's a game changer. And it's funny because my son wasn't like feeling the best one day. He's kind of grumpy and kind of, whatever, not feeling good. And he's like, I think I need to meditate, Mom. And I was just like, yes, you do. That's such a good choice. Like, it was such a beautiful choice for him to make, and it wasn't, like anything I asked him once in a while, like, come meditate with me. And he's like, no.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. So it's about like really teaching our children. It's not about like, we can give like verbal teachings to our children, right? We can say, this is what you're supposed to do. But if we're not doing it consistently, our words mean nothing. Our actions feel that our law or our words, what we do with what we say, it's about like walking your talk, really.
Yeah.
And that's huge for our children, and all children, really. Yeah.
All right, so since I've had you on Facebook, I've noticed your art. That's the first thing that I've kind of seen you post a bit about. Can you tell us about your shields, I think you said they are?
Yeah, so medicine shield. So you're familiar with the medicine wheel, which kind of gives us these different medicines, right, that come from different directions and different time frames in our life that we pick up, right, that we can choose to pick up, because it's really a choice, right? And when we say medicine can be what you give to the world that makes people feel lifted. So it's not like, the Western traditional or meaning of medicine. It could be your laughter. Your laughter lifts up the world, right? And so when I create these medicine shields, I put in a certain energy, right? And that's the way the world works. Everything is made up of energy. If you really dig deep and study like our world and what it's made up of, it's energy, right? All of us, the plants, the animals, the wind, it's all energy. And so when you can tune into these energies, right? You can choose to tune into these energies and then use them to reinforce who you are, to build you up in a way that is beneficial for your highest self and then everyone around you. And so when I create these medicine shields, people will ask me to do custom designs. Like, I want the energy of a certain animal, right? And then I take what I've learned from that animal. Let's say bear, for example. The bear medicine and the bear energy is of introspection and healing. So we can learn from that bear energy when it goes into its hibernation. It's digesting the entire year and what it's learned and what it needs to learn to continue, right? And so we do that as well. We can go within ourselves and kind of do this introspection, this look at ourselves from a higher vantage point, right? Without emotion, as a lot of us can't really look at ourselves without emotion and feeling bad and be like, oh man, I made that huge mistake and that was wrong, or I could have done better. And so it's kind of like looking at yourself from a higher vantage point without any emotion and really saying, well, this is what I could have done better. This is what I can do from now on. Oh, this is what was working for me. This is what helped me. That person or that thing or that meditation was beneficial, so I'm going to continue that. And so that is the art of introspection, and that is the art of bear medicine. And so it's like really tuning into those energies. And so I give the teaching behind the art, and so that is, the art is like a symbol of what they can tap into if they choose to. So it's really deep. It's really deep.
No.
Oh my, it's really deep.
It's so cool. I mean, it's so cool. Do you happen to have one close to you that you could show us really quick?
Sold all of them. I don't have any. I just like sell them and they're gone. I have pictures, but that's it.
Well, they'll have to. Can people like search you on Facebook to find example pictures?
Yes, yes.
What
And
would
it's
people
close
search?
to time.
What would people search to find you?
Migizii Kwe, both on my Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, very cool. Because yeah, I like it. And also, it's a little bit cross-cultural, right? Because you use the stones in those. Can you tell
Yeah,
us a
yeah.
little bit about those?
Yep. So I also use the energies of different minerals. So everything in this world, obviously, like I said, carries energy.
Cool. Now we got some physical examples.
Yeah. And so amethyst is a healing stone. So you can use this to heal any traumas, things that you're hanging on to, hurt, um, and kind of tune into this stone and its energy and what it can do for you. So I use a lot of those stones to help people ground, to help people heal, to help people find inner peace, and really just to align with those energies. I'm still learning though, so I don't know like all of the stones. I just like kind of intuitively, because we all have this beautiful intuitive energy to us where we kind of just know where to go sometimes, right?
Yeah.
We know our higher self is like guiding us, right? And so I kind of just intuitively was led to these minerals, but it was in the form of, rings.
Very cool.
And I would wear them, just for looks, really, because I was like, oh, so like, oh my god. But then after like so long of learning and kind of meeting different people and different teachers and things like that, I found out that these were actually minerals that heal and help us heal. And I was just like, wow, that is so bizarre, because it was like I was guided there
Yeah.
to help myself, but I didn't even realize that I was helping myself in the process. It was kind of just, it's beautiful when you do that. And you like look back and reflect that introspection. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
It'll probably be one of those things that it's a constant journey, but in the end, it is about the intention that you put into it in the beginning while you're creating it.
Exactly.
All right, so now let's talk about. All right, I think, well, I haven't confirmed the date yet, but we're gonna have Superman on the show next week or the next couple of weeks. I heard that you're gonna be, what is it? You're gonna be dancing in a project of his.
Oh yeah. So that was really cool. I'm super excited about that. Like, oh my God, because he is a trailblazer. You know what I mean? He's just a good guy. He shares good music, good medicine. He's performing and sharing the culture in such it's in a way that is so new age, with rap, but yet still embodying the ancestral, old school, and he's bringing them together in such a beautiful way because, we evolve and we live in two worlds, and he's bringing those two worlds together in such a harmonious way that it's so beautiful. So yeah, Superman's badass. I found out he was going to Pyro Fest. I had bought tickets just to go, you know what I mean? Just to go and have fun because I love dancing, all sorts of dancing. And I just was like, you know what? Maybe I should ask him, message him on social media, if I can dance with him on stage, and just for the experience, really. And he was like, yeah. I'm like, really? I'm like, like just for him to be so open and cool about it was so beautiful. He's so chill. And so I'm grateful for that. And I invited Leora to dance with me as well. I was like, yo, girl, you gotta, Regalia, you gotta go. Let's do this. It's gonna be so much fun. So I'm super excited for that. That's Pyro Fest in Ohio in June. And then I recently booked a performance for, what was it? Hiawatha Festival.
That's right. I seen the image for that, or I seen you posted something about that.
No, I haven't posted anything yet with that one.
Oh no!
That was a different performance.
Wow, you're busy.
Well, trying to stay busy, yes. I wish I was more busier, but it seems like, everything that we need, it flows in, like you don't want to put too much on your plate. And like, so right now it's everything that I need because it's here.
But I do want to point out that, with the thing with Superman, you took the shot, you messaged him, and you kind of made that happen too.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was really surprised because he doesn't know me. You know what I mean? And I was like, who are you? But he's like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Like,
Yeah.
So I asked him to perform with me for Hiawatha Festival for a virtual performance. And we're going to teach and share the dance styles, the cultural significance, and just share who we are as Indigenous people with all people. And so I asked him if he would take part in that with us, Leora as well, and a few other dancers that really were just like social media friends. Like the only one I know is Leora, like that I've met. But so I think that's.
Can you explain exactly what that is, a virtual music festival?
Yep. So Hiawatha Festival, they've never had Indigenous people perform at their festival. It's all about music and dancing and just a place for people to join in on music. It's more of like a hippie kind of vibe from what I'm assuming because I've never been there. But like
it is. Okay. Yeah. I haven't been there, but I've heard.
Okay.
Maybe I'll come this time though.
Well, it's virtual, so you
that's right.
When it's live because that's amazing, right? So we have something similar here, Bliss Fest, and I swear that place is filled with love and just it's a place where people can just go and be free and share love and share their energy in a good way. And I enjoy partaking in those festivals because it's just a good place to be. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we'll be performing together virtually at Hiawatha Festival. Super excited and grateful to be a part of that because, I see a lot of Indigenous people rising up and taking part and being a part of these festivals that have been around for so long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But never been a part of it. And it's huge because there's such a division.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, for so long, people have said that Native people have to walk in two worlds, but I think now it's like let's make one world.
Right, let's make it one, and because it is one,
Yes.
One world. It's just this perception, this illusion, right, that we all keep. It's not just non-native, it's us as well. And I get we have fear, there's a lot of trauma there's a lot of distrust there, but it's about going beyond that fear of the unknown and connecting and sharing. It's with love. Not everybody's going to be accepting right away, but it's the ones that can be strong and persevere through that fear and connect with love and sharing, because that's the only way to be one.
Yeah.
And I feel like our culture, it's a beautiful way to identify, to give yourself an identity, right?
Yes, for sure.
For sure. So it helps us identify who we are. But really, when you get to the core of the human race, really we are just one race. And we choose to identify with a certain culture because that helps us recognize who we are. But really, we're so much more than that. We're so much more than Anishinabe, and it's when you kind of release these identities is where you connect with each other. You know what I mean?
And that, yeah, I think that's when we find out about those energies you're talking about, that we're all connected through those energies and the earth even, and all the things you mentioned. So
Yeah.
can you explain it to me a little more about what, if I attended the virtual music festival and I wanted to see your performance, what am I going to be seeing? How can I see you all performing together? Is it on Zoom?
It's going to be on their platform. I'm not entirely sure of the details yet, because literally she's still emailing me the contract. So I'm expecting that to see more of the details. So I don't have too much of that right now. All I know is that we're performing and it's going to be happening. So
Well, I like that energy. I mean, you're just like, I'm in. I'll find the details out later.
we'll get it going sooner or later. So I don't have all those details yet, but it's happening, and I'm sure you can find out that information once I get it, and I'll have it on my social media.
Very cool. Yes, I'm up for sharing anything. All right, so is there anything else you want to talk about, or should I go to some of these bullet points that I brought up?
Keep shooting questions at me. I like that too. It helps.
All right, so I think we've already touched on something when it comes to this. But you're about my age, and we've sort of talked about how, well, I guess we didn't talk about technology, but about walking in two different worlds. Do you think that our generation, I've been waiting to have this conversation with somebody, is it a perfect spot where we didn't have technology as we're growing up, and then technology was introduced to us, and now like all the kids now are in their phones constantly? Like Superman, you mentioned him and his music, but now he's using rap music and he uses technology, the way he loops music and stuff. Do you feel like we're in that perfect sweet spot of that generation?
Using technology to further present who we are.
Exactly, yeah. Like we're, like people a little bit older than us have a distrust of technology, and people younger than us, not everybody, are a little bit maybe too attached to technology. I feel like.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean,
I can hold both perspectives the same. It's all about balance, right? Too much of this technology can be it can be bad. People stuck on their phone, not actually living. You know what I mean? Not actually experiencing the world. And they're living through this, technology and just focusing there, and it can be a bad thing. But yeah, it can be such a beautiful thing, right?
yes.
It's all about how you use it, right?
Yeah, the virtual music festival, this interview, I mean, it's used for communication. How old were you when you got your first cell phone?
I was 18.
18 years old. I was 17. See, that's what I mean. I feel like that's kind of a good age. Now, that's pretty old for kids to get a cell phone.
Yeah, that's way old. I see like 5-year-olds. I'm like, kid, what you doing with a cell phone?
And they're quick on them too. They can zip right through everything. How old is your son?
He's 9.
9? Does he have his own? What kind of screens does he have?
He has a tablet.
You have a tablet?
No cell phone yet.
No cell phone yet. So this is a real decolonized parent question. Have you caused your boy to die in a video game because you're trying to smudge him while he's playing?
No, he usually comes to me when for smudge. He comes out actually, which is really good. Because we definitely have to set boundaries.
Yes.
As friends, and even we have to set boundaries. And a time frame, a healthy time frame. And it's about how we use our phones, right?
It's
how
true.
much, right? So that sets the example for them, right? And we find ourselves outside more, and there are times in the winter where I'm like, yo, bro, too much tablet time. It's too much. But it's all about balance and realizing how much we need it, and using it, like for this is a great way, using this 45 minutes to teach and share with somebody that I don't know, that's beautiful. But spending hours and hours upon, scrolling and games or whatever, social media, it's really about how you use it and what you put into it. If you're posting good knowledge, videos that are going to uplift and teach people, yeah, it's fuck yeah, that's beautiful. But sorry, sorry for swearing.
I can believe it. I can believe it.
But it's all about how you use it, really. I'm going to say that again, and how much time and what you're using it for. And it can be good and bad, but I see a lot of Indigenous people creating so many beautiful, and not just Indigenous people, all people around the world using it to share beautiful knowledge and help uplift the consciousness of humanity. And that's amazing.
I like it. That's why I asked you that question. I knew you were going to have a good answer for that one.
Yep.
So let's see. Let's go back to these bullet points here. Okay, so a lot of people, even people such as yourself that grew up with culture, and I grew up going to powwows and stuff like that, but it seems like people have a moment in their lives where it switches over, where the culture takes on that new meaning, or well, like finding your identity. Was there a moment in your life where the culture has always been there, but then you really recognize what you had your whole life that grew the appreciation?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always there for us. And it's, well, I guess I've always, okay, go ahead. Sorry. You were going to say
I was just going to say, for example, for me, and I've heard this story quite a bit. I mean, I grew up on the reservation, and for me, when I went to college and I started learning the language and the culture more at college at Northern, then that's when I really took a look back at my home, and then I appreciated it so much more. So, and I've heard a lot of people say that they left home, went to college, and then they got that appreciation. So that's kind of an example I've heard. I'm gathering info to see other stories.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And that's definitely, my story as well. I left the culture, not by choice, not like I left, but I was taken out of it, and it was taken away from me, and I didn't have it for a while, for many years. And I really lost myself there. Yeah. I didn't have Indigenous people. I didn't have my people with me, the culture, just what I've learned, to bring with me while I was away. And then coming back to it really grounded me and helped me, appreciate what I had, and it wasn't until I drifted away, or not drifted away, and then for a while when I was taken away, I stayed away, by choice. And then when I came back, it was like, why did, I needed that time away to appreciate what I already had.
Yeah, right? I think that makes sense because, you mentioned meditation, and that, like, it's almost like fasting, like a fast of some sorts sometimes.
Yeah.
Because then there's a lot of people that seem like they know they're going to get to the culture eventually. They're just waiting for that right time. So, I don't know. It's always different for people.
Yeah, it's always different for people. It's our own personal journey. You know what I mean? It's what we need to either reconnect. So I needed that time away. I needed to experience that, because it's when we are fasting that we realize really the value of what we have, right? The value, the abundance, the worth of that beautiful teaching and culture and ceremony is when you leave and you're culture shocked. You're like, holy shit, what's going on? There, man. And it's let's go back to that beautiful place of your home and your heart and the land and your ancestors, because that's where we stem from. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful, and it's amazing.
It really is. Let's talk about your powwow style dancing. What style dancer are you?
So I started out dancing fancy when I was a little girl, and then I recently started dancing jingle a couple of years ago, and that was because I needed a jingle dress dancer, and I didn't have anybody at that time. It was last minute. It didn't work out, and so I decided to do it for myself, to do both styles, and it worked out. Actually, it worked out great. The dances are similar, and then I just fell in love with jingle dress dancing after that, and the meaning, the teaching behind it, because for so long I was a fancy dancer, and I love that. I love the fast movement, all around, swirling all around. It's so much fun, and it's so freeing, and it feels good. It feels natural for me to move like that. But then after I started teaching, I had to learn all the other dance styles. I had to learn what they meant, the men's styles as well. I had to learn the meaning behind that, and how far back they go, and why we do the dance, and why they do the dance. And after I learned about the jingle dress dancers more, I fell in love with the whole significance and the teachings, and why those women do what they do. And I was like, okay, now I'm a jingle dress dancer. I
That's
love
cool.
it.
Tell us a little bit about your current jingle dress that you've been wearing for your performances and dancing.
Well, so it was started out to be a fancy dress, but like I said, I needed a jingle dress, so I whipped it up. And
Where'd you get your jingles?
huh?
Where did you get your jingles?
Knock Bay.
Knock Bay, awesome. They're awesome over there.
Yeah, I love Knock Bay. But what I've learned about the jingles, right? Like old school, way back when, it was deer bones, or not deer bones, but toes.
The hooves.
Like,
Yeah.
what is this, bro?
That's gonna be the thumbnail for the interview.
So you're like, what is she doing? So yeah, deer toes, and the frequency and the sound of that clinging together, from how I, like, other people are going to understand it differently, but like when I learn about like how these sounds and the drums and the jingles and all that kind of influence us and bring us to a frequency and a vibration and energy in our body that can heal us, that's what they're doing, right?
Wow. It's coming back to that energy again. I like how it's just like a full circle.
It does. It really does. So when the women wear those dresses and you hear those jingles clashing together in a beautiful way, making music at the same time, that's healing us. Those sounds are a beautiful vibration and frequency that really influences us in a way that we don't really even realize, but we just kind of, like, the teachings were like, do this. We're like, okay, this is, we might not have had it down to like a formula or a science, but it really is a formula in science, what we're doing, because we look at a lot of, I learn about all these other ways to help us and heal us and grow us. And a lot of it is sound frequency, right? Music, even just sounds of the nature and water and all those frequencies, they really influence us in a way, and they're here for us. It's all about how we understand them and harness those energies that will kind of uplift us and transcend us to a good state, a balanced state. And so that's what I kind of learned about the jingle dress as well. And the intention. It's all about intention.
Yes.
When we dance, you know, what is the intention in the energy that we're setting out when we do those dances?
And that's similar to when you're making your shields too. I mean, that intention, that energy, it's just always there.
Yep. Our intention of why we do what we do really is huge every single day, you know. So when we're dancing, the women, their intention is to heal others, themselves, and the earth, you know. And so when we're dancing and we're using all those different energies that we have available to us, the sound frequency, the vibration, and the energy and the intention, you know, we're calling in that healing for all of us. And we need to, all of us, tune into that because it is so powerful. And all people have access to this, not, you know, Indigenous people, not just Indigenous people, all people in this world have access to this knowledge. And it's, you know, there's different ways people are doing it. You know, we do it with dancing. You know, I've come to learn about other ways that people are doing it, and it blows my mind. It blows my mind. It's so beautiful. Just diving deep into the spiritual world because there's so many different tools and different perspectives and teachings, and I love it. I love it.
Me too. And I like learning about all the different aspects of the world too, because it does seem to be that underlying energy and stuff. So when is the next time that you are doing a performance that people can see you?
Well, I don't have anything recent, but I'm still working on booking. It takes a lot to get, it does take a lot actually, but right now I don't have anything recent or coming up recent. So Hiawatha Festival for now, but that could change. So I've got a few options that have been hitting me up. So hopefully I book them, but right now, Hiawatha Festival.
When is Hiawatha Festival?
They will be showcasing everything in July. But oh yeah, I forgot about the one in Ohio. So that one's in June.
Okay, June and July.
June. You could probably check it out on because that's a live event, so that's going to be in person on Superman's account.
That's going to be awesome. I'm excited for that. So I mean, we covered all my bullet points. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Otherwise, we can kind of wrap her.
I think I'm good. I think that was good. You good?
I'm good too. Yeah, for sure. I think that we'll definitely have to have you back maybe around your performances or after a post-performance interview or something like that.
Awesome. I would love that.
Or also maybe next time if you have some shields available to show us, we'll do something like that. I don't know. I like to always have recurring guests, so you're welcome back anytime.
Well, thank you for having me, and this was awesome. I love your mind and your work and everything that you do. So thank you for having me.